last time we left off, the group was heading along the trail to Goodmead. Eventually arrived, were met by a curious and very bunched up half elf named Danica Greysteel. After some talking, she asked you all to be on the lookout for some nature spirits that she called Chwingas, which she believed could be the key to ending this long winter. Lending you a lantern that would glow green when they were around. You asked about the events, and she mentioned she didn't know too much other than the mead was gone and there was an election for the next speaker soon after his murder. Some of you went to a shrine of Flaming Sword, while a couple of you headed to the mead hall to inquire about this some more. At the shrine, some of you met Shander Froth, a dwarven individual who was up for running for town for speaker. Concerned about the death in the mead bowl, mentioned they set out a small group to recover the goods that morning, but the hour was running late. And at the mead hall, you met Olivessa Untapor, middle-aged human woman, apparently was urged to run against Shander Froth in the upcoming election. You all mentioned wanting to help out, and she stated that if the militia isn't back by morning, a party would need to be sent to find them. Sure enough, in the morning, with Draxius for some reason nowhere to be seen, you were asked by Shander to head into the woods to find the men, the mead, and hopefully end the giant from attacking further. You guys did head into the woods and came upon a massacre in the night. Shander stayed behind to collect the bodies and make sure they were out of sight, not to raise any alarms. And the rest of you headed down a very obvious trail and actually even ran into one of these Chwinga creatures. Small little, not speaking, no real words. It was riding a white fox and threw snowballs at you from afar before scurrying off into the woods. Eventually, you did arrive at the end of the trail, staring at a large cave entrance. You ushered yourselves in, finding a big fire with some meat cooking and a pen of goats and sheep. Looking around actually alerted Doug, the large Verbeeg giantkin, who was apparently getting ready for a date after some conversation, and you did try to talk some sense into him, but one thing led to another, and an obvious fight broke out. During this, an ogre named Friend joined the fray shortly after this started, and even with some smart thinking from Eric, releasing these goats and sheep, it did end in tragedy, as only Severage made it out alive, fleeing into the woods with what little life he has in the dead of night. And so we're going to pick up with Draxius. Draxius, last thing you remember, there was talk of giants in this town of Goodmead, small village. You guys had some mead, and you went to bed upstairs in the loft of the mead hall. And your dreams were filled with visions of blizzards, and you can just feel the cold all around you. But it's a comforting cold. It's odd, but you feel like in that moment you feel yourself trudging through snow and ice, being battered by winds, and just walking. And then you find yourself awake against a tree in the middle of a snow-covered forest, alone, half buried in snow. What do you do?
I think, yeah. So Draxius jumps up, real when he realizes it's no longer a dream. feels the cold, the melt against his skin, jumps up and is ready for any type of situation of who brought him here, how he got here. He has no memory of it. Uh, does he know? Do I know uh, roughly where I am, or is it completely unfamiliar to me?
It is. Give me an insight check. With a 9. Not very familiar. You have a feeling in your dream, at least, that you were following something.
Do I have any memory of what I was following, or is that foggy?
I would say with your insight check, you don't remember what, but you remember large footsteps.
In that case, I think first I'm going to try to get to a place where I can get a good vantage point of anything around me, so that I don't feel like I'm going to be snuck up on as easily. And then I'm going to try to find some landmarks if there's anything I can see.
And it is also dark out.
Oh, I don't have dark vision or anything like
No,
that.
so it's
Uh,
like most of the time you spent up here so far, it's mostly dark. You're unsure what time it is exactly, but
I don't see any
actually,
tracks or
roll me a d12.
D12. Let's find that dice. Boop. And
All right, with a 10. Uh, there is a little bit of an aurora overhead. Just looks like it might just be starting to kind of tell you what time it is, maybe, because you've been every night you've been here. The aurora happened at around close to midnight, not on the dot, but as you also mentioned, looking for tracks. Uh,
yeah,
you would see some track marks. Hard to make out what it is at a first glance.
they're not mine though.
They are not yours. You don't see
All
yours.
right, that's
They,
important.
you would assume
Important.
that these are bigger track marks, bear
Okay.
or maybe something bigger.
I remember vaguely the talk of a Yeti I was interested in. Um, so Drexia spent months and months prior to meeting up with Eric,
Mm-hmm.
who he assumes is still alive and quite well.
For sure.
Um, yeah, and for months was alone, and so this is not uncomfortable. The being alone, I think what's uncomfortable is just not knowing how he got here. He doesn't remember drinking too much, but that's always the case. So he is going to follow those tracks.
All right.
I'd say in a stealthy way, but I don't think that
Well, I mean,
Draxius does
he
stealthy.
can try to be stealthy. That's up to you.
Nah, he won't try to be. He's trying to be more alert than stealthy.
All right. Give me a perception check then. Keeping an eye out with the wind blowing through the trees, snow kind of. It's not snowing at the moment, but snow does kind of dust off of the trees from the wind gusting. An 18 perception check. In this kind of like twilight, you can just make out little bits of detail. And following the tracks for the better part of 30 minutes or so, you come upon what looks to be a frozen stream at the base of a kind of small cliff where it was kind of a natural spring almost. A little bit of water, actually, all of it seems frozen over. And hunched over the frozen stream, can hear this crunching of ice as a large figure, maybe say with an 18 perception. Taking a better guess of it, this person figure is hunched over, humanoid in form. If they were standing probably at about 10, 11 feet tall. So easily a few heads above you. Uh, basket, large basket looks to be beside them. A little bit of shimmering coming from within the basket. And looks to be kind of banging into the ice. Kind of like a top knot. Actually, I have a picture for you, probably. Uh, Large female giant. Uh, Hard to see the coloration of her skin, but awkward looking ears.
Mm.
You see them, spear kind of at the side of them, banging into the ice with something sharp.
All
And
right.
you
Seeing.
see them
Okay.
before they see you.
Okay. So we have giant. I speak giant.
You do.
That might come in handy. But I don't. Do I see any sign that they have been in any type of battle recently?
I would say with your perception check, no.
Okay. So they just seem like they're doing their thing. And do I have any knowledge of this region, whether or not the Goliath tribes are at all friendly with giants?
Give me a history check.
Oh, it's my best subject.
I bet. 13. Uh, from your history with Goliaths,
I don't
they,
have much. I just
yeah,
have
yeah,
what
you
I've
don't have
heard
much,
along
just
the way
what
here.
you've heard along the way. It would be the same up here as it is in other places of the world. It would be kind of like an estranged cousin who you don't know doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically friends with them. Kind of like I'd say with the 13, it's not unheard of for giants to eat Goliaths. It's also not unheard of for certain giants to, uh, I don't want to say befriend Goliaths, because that's probably out of the question, but more along the lines of just kind of deal with them. Like, take them or leave them.
I think I'm going to kind of hang back a bit and watch.
Okay, so for this, I will need a stealth check. 12. Fair enough.
Oh, do I have disadvantage being in armor?
You do, but you rolled both already, so I'll just take the lower.
Okay.
So it would be a 12 anyways. So with a 12, you sit and watch. Seems like they're digging out and pulling out some frozen fish that are underneath the ice in the stream and kind of putting them in their basket. Kind of humming a tune the whole time. But they don't seem to notice you. As you probably need to be about 60 or so feet away. And as
Yeah,
you're
I
yeah,
think not knowing how many more there might be or where anyone I know is, I think Drax would definitely
play it cool.
yeah, not rush into battle and make sure that he has a clear like path out of this area if he needs to run.
I gotcha. Yeah, you can definitely dart through some trees if need be. This is a little bit of a clearing, but there's a dotting of trees in here.
Trying to
And
fight
yeah,
the barbarian the classic barbarian Goliath react or instinct to just push them in, like charge them and push them into the water, and then
Yeah,
start battling them as they're. But I have to hang back. If I accidentally
yeah.
fall in my armor, that's
Well,
not good.
you would notice it's just a small stream. It's not like a river,
Oh,
and
okay.
so
Oh,
they're not
it'd be like
actually
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
getting water. They're just getting like chunks of ice, which you can kind of see that there are bits of frozen fish in them. Kind of like smaller fish, not big enough to be a meal, but add some seasoning to a stew or something. But as you sit there and watch, a moment, probably a good like 20 or so minutes pass as the aurora starts to kind of brighten, and you can clearly see a little better now. Uh, Give me another perception check for you watching this.
Oh, wait, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. There we go.
Fair enough. Uh, Flash back a little ways. Draxius cautiously watching this giant kin. Back at the town. A few hours ago. uh, we see our three other individuals, along with a small gathering of townsfolk in good mead. You all would be present for what seems like a meeting outside of the. Actually, it would be at the shrine of the Flaming Sword, which is a mostly empty shrine which has the body of the dead town speaker being kept there for now. Uh, Covered so as to not, like, you just know his body's there. And not the entirety of the town, but a good, like, 20 or 30 people are present, including yourselves. All three of you new players, or new characters. As the dwarf figure of, actually, together, the dwarven figure of Shander Froth, as well as Olivessa. Oh boy, what is her last name? Do you guys remember her last name? Olivessa, a local who makes the casks for the mead in town, who are actually apparently going to oppose each other in the upcoming election. Unsure when. The older woman in this dwarven figure with a bushy red beard are kind of gathering everyone in town, or at least most people, able bodies. And Shander calls out over this small crowd, kind of standing at the top of the steps, so he's about the same height as Olivessa. Right, so we got a situation. Doesn't look good. That group went off to help get the meat back. They've been gone all day. No telling of when, or if they're coming back. I have further bad news. The previous militia that we sent out, we found their bodies dead, less than a mile away from town. Seems like they were heading back. No sign of the mead. No sign of these other brave adventurers. Wouldn't ask everyone to go out on a limb for people they don't know. Some of you might know a couple of them. Locals to Bryn Shander, whatnot. But if anyone's willing, good mead would be forever in your debt. If you'd at least bring 'em back, maybe the mead. If this town's to make any money this winter, which it's already a long one, it's cold, it's dark. Just trying to get a sign of hope. And looking over the crowd, a huddled mass of mostly humans and a couple of dwarves and half elves, occasional halfling. You do see if you guys want to not necessarily introduce yourselves, but what do you look like and where are you in this crowd, if at all? We'll start.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go for it.
uh, Toward the front of the crowd, taking notes and listening intently, is a 4.5 foot tall, uh, white feathered bird creature, and he is scrawling in a notebook, wearing a nice pointy hat. He's got little tiny glasses on his beak that are just so small that you can't possibly even see through them. They're just there for kind of decoration. And he is just taking notes at the front, uh, muttering to himself. Uh, I knew that when it happened, they should have listened to me. That's my character.
Fair enough. At the kind of the front of the crowd, maybe in the middle of the crowd, Steven, your character.
Probably not in the middle of the crowd. He's probably off to the side,
Okay.
avoiding the mass. But you would see a large 6 and about a 1/2 foot ish half orc, uh, pale green skin, wearing very heavy clothing. You would see a giant axe strapped to his back. Very bushy beard, pretty much that avatar right there. And he would just kind of let out a harumph. Was there a dwarf with that group by the name of Eric?
Yeah. Dwarf. Didn't think he was a local though. Yeah, him and it's like elf and a farmer from up north, as well
Well,
as a guy that goes in between towns. I think his name's Letters.
I will offer my assistance.
All right. I'd be grateful to have it. Uh, any other volunteers? And kind of like scanning the crowd, everyone's kind of keeping low. And TJ, I assume your character probably wouldn't be necessarily near the crowd, or even probably
No.
allowed near the crowd. Probably watching from
Yeah,
by a
she's
tree.
yeah,
If
yeah.
if
And
yeah.
so far back, probably probably honestly a good um at least 10 meters away from the crowd. This um decently tall, maybe like what, 5'8",
Okay.
drow.
Yeah.
Um just a generic looking drow. You can see that she's very nervous. She seems to be tapping her hands on her thighs quite a bit, and she's looking around, looking to the side, and she like she, so she takes a hesitant step forward and be like, I I could help if 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 that's okay.
What good of help would you be? Lucky we let you stay in the town. And the elderly woman kind of speaks up, kind of holding her hand kind of behind. I I think she could help. Any help would be appreciated. And this is Olivessa, the older uh, other person running.
Depor.
Untapor, thank you. Uh, any other takers? As a lot of the crowd is just kind of murmurs like, probably gonna die. It's not worth it. They're probably already dead. We'll probably die too. This cold's gonna get us all.
Pull a couple feathers, let them float in the wind. Yeah, I'll join in too. I'll go.
And a couple of like surprised, like almost near gasps from a couple people behind you. Shander kind of furrows his brow a little bit. Well, at least there's strength in numbers. You got fucking drow, bird person, and kind of looks to the half-orc individual. You all right with this, Mokatir?
I will keep my eyes on this dark-skinned one, but help would be appreciated.
I'm gonna do my best to try and round up some folk. I'm gonna go up the road a bit. It might be too late, but at least we'll have some people. Maybe get some help from East Haven. Maybe Bryn Shanda. Heck, I might even go to Targos if need be. Try and find any volunteers. Or at least any sort of help. We're gonna postpone the election until I get back at least. I know some of you are going to be disappointed that I won't be here to keep an eye on things. All of us will at least help out in that department. And all of us kind of shrugs. Kind of a trial. We'll see how it goes. Not much to look after. No mead being sent out, so everyone's gonna hunker down for the remainder of the week until we figure something out. She looks a little like off-put speaking in front of people. And Shander would kind of call out, if anybody would like to pay the respects, bodies of the deceased behind the entrance house of northeast of town. Under a top, made sure that wouldn't get eaten by stray animals. I have a guard watching over them right now. But everyone rest easy and just hunker down. Hopefully these three will bring back the four that went out this morning. I lost the trail a while ago, so hopefully you'll fare better than I did. And at that, the crowd kind of starts to disperse, just kind of mumbling to themselves. A couple people kind of walk up to Olivessa as Shander will kind of walk up to Mokatir. Is it Mokatir or Mokotir?
No, Mokatir.
Mokatir.
Most people and if anybody knows him, he'd go by Mo.
Okay, fair enough. I almost called you Mo, but I didn't want to be too forward.
No, if anybody in town knows him, he goes by Mo.
And
No.
Mo being around town for the better part of some period of time, you have seen this drow figure around town, usually keeping on the outskirts, not really welcome because a drow. But never really coming into any trouble. I don't know if you would know her name or not, but and the bird person. How long have you been in town for?
How long has it been dark out?
2 years.
About would I be there before it was dark?
That's up to you.
Probably about 3 years then.
All right. Have you just been kind of gathering stories around the towns?
Yep.
All right. And so at least Mo and Phineas would know about the majority of these kind of rumors about other towns. Obviously, the being a good mood now, this is the utmost closest event that's happening. After the town master was killed by a giant and the all the casks of mead that were meant to go throughout the 10 towns were stolen by it. But Shander kind of motions for the bird person. I'm gonna call you a bird person, Tilly, because you probably know your name. He probably would use a shortened name. Like Finny, Mo, kind of like rubs his head a little bit as like this is like too much for him to have to speak to a drow. Uh, I don't know your name. Seen you around.
Oh.
We haven't killed you yet.
Yeah,
Thanks, I guess.
Finny is about the same as Phineas. You just finish it off if you want.
It's an extra syllable. But that's fair. I'll remember to call you Phineas if it suits you. Not used to your bird customs, but did see one of your kind travel through a while back. And then looks to Alara. So we don't know where they're at now. I lost track of them when I was bringing the bodies back to town. But they were pretty gung-ho. And it seemed like the tracks were pretty obvious, at least at the time, but then, well, the snow, you know what it does to tracks. So I hope you guys are good at tracking. Don't put yourselves in too much danger if you can help it. But of course, get revenge if you can on the townspeaker. The barrels and the people, probably the utmost importance.
I will do what I can.
It's appreciated, Mo. I surprised you didn't join in earlier. And of course, you were busy out there. Good haul this morning, by the way.
Yes. Well, would any of the dead bodies that were brought back, any loggers that Mo would know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, you would have known all of them. Small town. There's like 100 people here. Uh, but I would 5 of them were loggers as well.
well, I would like to pay my respects. Phineas, I look forward to working with you. And you, looking at the drow, I did not catch your
Yes.
name.
My name's Alara.
Alara.
Write that down in his notebook.
And you would not be plotting anything on this adventure, would you, Alora?
I just want to help people because there was no one to help me when I needed it.
Well, then you are welcome in our group, but I will be watching you. And I think before
I
even
wouldn't
Alara gets,
expect anything less.
and I think before he could even say that, his back would already be turned, walking away.
Cold shoulder.
Phineas would scamper off her after him. How do they walk? Just kind of scamper off.
I don't know. Yeah. Do you walk like a penguin,
He
or
waddles away.
you got bird
Are,
legs?
Uh,
are you Eric Cochran?
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
Aarakocra. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I'm following you. You can look at the bodies.
There was a 50-50 chance he was going to be Jarnathan from the D&D movie.
We gotta wait for him.
Yep. Yep. But
I really feel like he wants to hear this right now.
maybe this was before his rise to be in Revel's End. But sure enough, does Alara kind of follow the steps of Mokatir?
Yeah, just keeping my head down.
All right. And a small gaggle of looks to be Miss Untapur's friends are kind of talking her up as Shander Froth kind of crumps towards them as he makes his way. Well, I gotta get some arrangements. Best of luck. I'll be out of town probably when you get back. Postponing the election. And he walks off as well to his own abode.
Yeah, we don't need luck. It's all written. It's all written. We're gonna do good this time. This journey out, this one's gonna succeed.
All right.
Mokatir would let out like a nostril flare.
Fair enough. As you head over behind the cabin to see the bodies, they are covered in tarps at the moment, and Greg, a human, about 17-year-old kid, dressed in like padded armor and like a hooked fishing spear, kind of standing watch, bundled up nearby the bodies. Hey, Mo. Come to pay your respects, huh?
Yes.
And he'll give a wide berth of Mo, and also seeing Alara in tow behind Phineas as well. Oh, and you got some stuff going on that I don't know about? What's the drow doing here?
She is offering her assistance in a search and rescue.
Make sure she doesn't nick anything.
I intend to keep my gaze on her as much as I can.
Well, good on you. I would join, but Pa said I can't. You know, gotta watch over the dead, make sure wolves don't get to it or nothing. Nothing like they got down Dugan's Hole though. They got some like ice wolves or something. I don't know. Glad we don't have any of that roaming up here.
Well, perhaps we could take a look at that later, but what you're doing is no not important matter as well.
Oh yeah, that's what Pa said. Keeping watch over the dead is a good way to honor them.
Indeed.
And before he pays his respects, he's kind of flipping the blankets off their faces just to make sure that
Yeah.
none of them are Eric.
It is a brutal sight. Uh, Faces, chests, bodies, all of them have been smashed in. So it's hard to identify. None of them are dwarves, though.
It seems that we will have our challenges in front of us. If we run into these, the enemy is brutal, to say the least. As he's talking to Phineas and Alara.
Phineas is kind of getting real close to the bodies and kind of sketching out the just the uh, a sketch of the what the bodies look like.
Of smashed bodies.
Yep,
Yep.
good,
It's
good illustration in there.
frozen, grotesque mass of smashed body parts. Some of them have been not ripped, but just like kind of with the pressure of someone smashing with a like giant log. Some of them are in like two pieces. It's not pretty. But it's cold and frozen, so it's this odd stillness to them.
Did you know all of them?
I knew many, some not as well. They were good people.
It's always the good ones.
You have
Well,
lost.
um, yeah, in a way. Well, you have my condolences, and I know you don't trust me. But I will do everything in my power to help get revenge.
Well, we shall see when the time comes. Now, if you would like to make yourselves ready, I will be at the. I think we left out the northeast entrance.
It was just straight into the woods on the north. I can bring you
I
guys.
will.
I can bring you guys that town map. It's a small little town.
I will be waiting on the north side of town when you are ready to go.
Roger.
And you guys are kind of on the north side of town. The bodies would have been kept up here, kind of behind the place where the one chick is, the half elven chick with the lantern that she gave the other guys. But you guys wouldn't know that. But yeah, you kind of make your way to wait by the edge of the woods. As yeah, is there anything you'd like to do before you set off?
Nothing from
Oh.
Mokatir.
I'm ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right. So the trio head into the woods. Uh, how are you guys? What is it like as you guys start making your way and traveling through this dark, snow-covered woods? As it is, the light has come and gone. The 4 hours of light a day, and it's barely even light, is gone at this point. So what is it like as you're traversing through the woods? What are you doing? How are you doing it?
I guess Mokatir would definitely be on the vanguard. Even though he can see in the dark, he'd have a lantern lit.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, he's no tracker by any means, but I mean, he's lived out here for quite some time, so he's kind of trying to look to pick up tracks as best he can, even though snow covers them pretty often and quickly.
Yeah. Oh,
Phineas is right, like right next to his legs, trying to stay real close.
okay.
Are you literally following in my footsteps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopping from one to the other.
Yeah. And what about Alara?
Um, standing, obviously standing beside Mo, but obviously keeping a respectful distance.
Fair
Um,
enough.
More or less trying to keep close enough to the light. And yeah, looking, see if I can see any tracks or any signs in what I assume the landscape that there has been creatures or people who have passed through here.
How is Alara equipped? I see arrows in the avatar picture.
Yeah, that's fair. How? Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Describe it.
I'm a ranger,
It's like heavy furs,
so
bow.
yeah, satchel around my waist, just to try and keep my back clear for my bows and arrows. Um, I've got a single dagger and a short sword at my side, but I I I like to try and keep pretty light. Don't like to weigh myself down too much.
And
If that
as he's
answers your
kind of,
question.
oh no, that answers it perfectly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're kind of like staying close to him and staying close to the light, he'll look over and Mokuchi will just be like, "I thought your kind didn't like the light."
Mm, most, but I grew up on the surface, so I guess I kind of got used to it. It's all I've known.
Well, seems these days aren't much different from the Underdark.
Mm. Personally, I wouldn't know. I've never been there.
Hmm. No, I think the tracks went this way.
At that, both Alara and Mo give me a survival check separately, because Alara, you said you're just kind of keeping an eye out to see what you see, and Mo's kind of trying
Yeah.
to lead the path, essentially.
Oh, wow. Still have the death rolls on.
Oh yeah, your
I
best friend. You got a 16. And Alara, you do have, I believe, advantage on this. So if you want to roll again,
Oh, okay.
because of the terrain.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. Uh,
I'm
Mo,
clearly pointing a different direction than her.
yeah. You Mo, you think you see some tracks as you start trudging that way, and Alara, not looking at the ground for your tracks, because you see the ground just as he sees it, but you look a little further up into some of the tree branches, and you would see a few bent and broken, going a slightly different direction. And you would be able to tell,
Mm.
not uncertain what the tracks are that Mo is following. It's old and, well, snow covered, but bent and broken branches usually denotes something smashing into them. And it doesn't look like just wind damage. It looks like something ran through there.
Yeah. Uh, Sir, sorry.
Hmm?
I think we should go this way. Something big definitely went that way. And I just point up to the trees and the branches.
Well done. You have passed the test.
Thank you.
Well, how am I supposed to know the weight of the value of the party I'm with if I don't test you every now and then?
Oh, good sign of leadership there.
That's fair.
As he just kind of takes like his scarf, pulled it over his face a little bit,
Yeah.
and trudges for the way that she chose.
All right. Trudging forward, uh, time passes. You don't really get lost very easily. And sure enough, shortly, you come across another set of tracks. As the tracks get a little bit fresher, and they are larger, and then you would see a second pair that looks to be even fresher, where there is like an indentation in next to a tree, like something was sitting there for a long period of time when it snowed.
Sorry, what was that last part?
Something was here.
It's like a depression where something was sitting by a tree, where Draxius was sleeping.
Something big was here. And like not just here for a little bit. Like it took a nap here.
Doesn't quite seem the size of a giant.
Something
Well,
smaller. Goliath is do they roam around these parts?
I think there are some tribes, but I'm not sure how close they are to good meat. Hmm. Perhaps it is a giant's offspring. Which way do the tracks go?
They seem to be following the. Easy enough to tell. I wasn't trying to hide them. They seem to be kind of following where the broken tree branches were in the lessened tracks before it. But more of a trudging through the snow instead of like footprints stepping over the snow. Snow's probably like a good foot deep, maybe more. So it's definitely more kind of kicking up the snow as it walks.
Hmm. What say you, Phineas?
I say we follow the tracks.
Very well, but be ready for anything. As he'll unhook the axe on his back.
All right.
Yep, yeah, you be ready as well. And I'm just gonna kind of, as I'm writing in my book, kind of throw a little bit of ink at you, cast resistance on you.
I hope that will not stain.
No, you're all good. It actually, as it gets on you, kind of splotches on in little arcane symbols and sinks in and fades.
Perhaps you have some surprising worth as well.
Always keep them guessing.
All right. Unless Alara wants to lead the way, Mo will.
Oh, sure. I'll take my bow off my back and get an arrow just notched just in case we come upon anything. And start following the tracks quietly, if possible.
Are you guys sneaking?
Yeah.
Are we
Mo will try his best.
All right, yeah, guys, give me a stealth check.
All right, -1.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Those
6.
9's got to go somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. 7.
All right, a 7 and a 14 and a 6. Alara, you're definitely more skilled at sneaking around than these two are. As they're just trudging, kind of banging into things as they're trying to be low, essentially. And especially with Phineas literally following the footsteps of Mo, you kind of like end up stepping on his heels a few times as you're traveling. Do you keep the lantern lit? As you would see the aurora start above the sky, kind of giving you a little bit of light.
Well, I had dark vision, so I'm not sure how everybody else can see.
It's kind of
So
like it turns into like a low light whenever the aurora is above. Usually lasts for about an hour.
what type of lantern is it?
It's
A
a big,
bullseye.
it's a bullseye, so you can, it's a directional.
Okay, he'll put it out.
I gotta stay real close to you then. I can't see.
Oh,
I mean,
he'll keep it on.
you can see, like I said, it's low light, so it's kind of like that like twilight time where there's only when you're kind of in the shadow of a tree can you not see what's under that tree. But you can all vaguely see. It's up to you guys. I mean, you guys are sneaking up on something, or at least trying to. It's up to you if you want to have the lantern lit.
Yeah, let's take it off.
All right.
We'll take it off.
As you're traveling
Okay.
through, trudging through the snow, doing your best to be sneaky. Uh, about 30 or so minutes pass as following these smaller tracks, you do notice the larger ones kind of veer off a little bit. And you can easily follow the smaller tracks where you see Draxius, if you want to go ahead and describe your character again and what he's doing at this exact moment.
Yeah, so Draxius is a 8 foot tall Goliath in heavy chainmail-y type armor. He doesn't his clothes do not look to be from around here. He is a paladin, uh, but no real holy symbols or anything would I guess betray that. So that's a little meta information there, I guess.
He looks like a knight.
He looks like a knight,
Yeah.
like a very very large knight. And currently he is kind of leaning against the trunk of a tree, watching, but has his hand his hand firmly on a big warhammer, and his shield is wrapped in his other arm. It looks like he is focused on whatever is directly in front of him and down a little ways.
And you would kind of see them as the same time they see you. Maybe about like 40 or so, 50 feet away, past a small hill as you're watching this.
I need to do any type of check to know whether, like, to sort of like basically if I see them and they look like people from Goodmead, that'd be one thing. But if it looks like they're related to this giant,
they do not look related to the giant. You know a half orc when you see one. You've never seen a bird giant, and this one is 4.5 feet tall, and a dark-skinned elf. Well, actually, a paler drow.
Okay.
Not dark-skinned, but
I imagine I
Yeah.
fought in the gladiator pits with some
Sure.
dark elves and some half orcs.
Absolutely.
All of us would have been taken.
You would hear the crunching of snow and some like double crunching as you see this bird person following behind, and you all would see not too far away a large, well, that large giant, about 10, 11 feet tall, looks like digging in the ice and putting him in her basket. Starting to get ready as she actually hears the sounds of you guys approach. And her head kind of turns on a swivel quickly, dropping what's in her hand. Squints her eyes in your direction. Hey, Doug? Friend? Reaching for her spear, looking in your direction. Oh, little ones. And she stands up, full stretch. You can see her. She doesn't dwarf Draxius, but definitely makes him seem smaller. It makes you all feel small as she stands up, dusting snow off her back, just from her standing. And she's been in that hunch position for a while. You would hear her bones kind of crack and pop from poor posture and for extended periods of time, stretching out. What do you guys?
Seems
Yeah.
seems we have found one of the giants that has slain the good people of Goodmead. Do we attack it?
Where are the other people? Are the other people supposed to be here?
What are you doing here? Did you come for dinner? See
Is she
a big smile. She's talking to you guys. She doesn't actually see Draxius.
Draxius is taking this opportunity to sort of kind of go behind the tree a little bit more to put it in between him and the giant.
Okay.
There are. Is she speaking common?
Yep.
There are more of your kind.
Give me a persuasion check.
Guidance if it fails.
12? Yeah, it does fail.
Guidance.
All right.
15?
15 is good.
Just flicks a little ink at you. Again, same kind of thing with the arcane symbols.
Yeah. A little smile comes over her face. Yes. Doug.
Well,
We're gonna have
yes,
dinner. Do you want to join?
we would be happy to join. As he looks at everybody else. Please, show us the way.
She kind of starts to gather her basket. Uh, okay. Looks kind of excited. Dropping like a few like ice shards of frozen fish as she picks up her basket.
Now, it is really important. We do not want to fight multiple giants at one time. So, once she shows us the way, we will take her out.
And I don't know if Draxus is in earshot.
Probably not at this point.
But we saw him though, right?
You do see him, yes. As he kind of
How do
makes
we know
him...
that they're the ones who killed him?
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry, I missed it.
How do we know that they're the ones that killed the party?
Well, I have not heard about too many giants outside of Goodmead. Hmm.
It's just she seemed rather peace. I assume it's a she. They seemed rather peaceful. Like surely, it,
Uh, she's inviting us to dinner so she could eat us. She was just hoping that we weren't that smart.
we don't know that.
Oh yeah, we do. Well, at least I do.
Well, we will see. Phineas, we will walk up to the giant. Alara, find out what our new friend over here is. He could possibly be with the group that went out.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor. My feathers will kind of shimmer a little bit and then dull back to normal.
Immediately, as you guys are talking, she's kind of bundling her stuff. Hey, what was that? Takes a couple of
Uh,
steps towards you. Basket still in hand, spear kind of like as a walking stick.
what was what? What are you talking about?
You did a shimmer.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
trick of the light. It was just your eyes playing tricks on you.
we were trying to light our lantern here, you see. He was helping me.
Give me a deception check.
Oh, God.
I can prestidigitation the lantern
You
light.
still have guidance, don't you?
No, guidance only lasts
You
for
cast.
you can. So now guidance is
Yeah, but
also
didn't.
reactionary,
Yeah.
and so it just helps that
Oh
check.
goodness,
So he could technically cast it again.
No, it's not gonna help though.
it's not going to
With
help.
with a 5.
I mean, could he have an advantage because I was helping? I'm not
Uh,
proficient. I'm not proficient in deception
To
though.
be proficient to give
Yeah,
advantage.
yeah,
no,
I'd
I'm
say
not
unless you're
proficient.
doing something extremely persuasive, like to help out. No.
No.
Uh,
I mean, I can prestidigitate the lantern lit.
I'll say sure. I'll give you advantage if as you prestidigitate the lantern alight. Uh, so yeah. Mo, give me another persuasion check. I'm not gonna give you that nat 20. You know.
Not gonna give you the nat 20.
No.
Okay.
Give me a
Oh
9.
damn!
Maybe
Oh,
maybe guidance will
yeah,
help.
with a little bit of guidance on the back end of the
Continuing to
prestidigitation.
continuing to cast magic, I would say it would have the opposite effect because kind of like pushing your luck with that. Uh, but with a even with a 9, uh, come here, magic man.
I'm good over here. The snow is really tough. I can't really get over there.
And she takes a few large steps towards you.
As she comes closer, from behind her, a ghostly hand will come up and try and swipe at her. I'm gonna cast Chill Touch.
All right. There's once again continuing to cast magic. Yeah, give me a chill touch. And also, TJ, so just so you know, if you Tyler rolls his own dice at home because he's got dice and he wants to use them. If you have dice that you want to use, you're more than welcome to roll at home.
16.
16 will hit her.
Hey. Oh, for 1 point of necrotic damage.
She will take 1 point of necrotic damage as she swats behind her. And
Are we in combat, or would this be something that, like, at the same time that happens, can somebody else, like, would I be able to also use a cantrip?
Depending on what it is, I would say because nobody was like prepared.
Well, Draxus kind of was.
Draxius was watching, so I'll let Draxius do something. What are you doing, Draxius?
This is just thaumaturgy,
Okay.
and it's just to create a sound right when she turns around. It's going to be in front of her, and it's going to be a sound in giant speak that says they're all around you.
As she swats out towards it. No magic. At which point, yes, we are gonna roll initiative. As Severage, coming running as fast as you can away from that place at 1 hit point.
Blooded point.
No, no.
Bloody, nearly bleeding out, but it's good. The wounds have frozen over, so you're not continuing to bleed. It's a good thing about, just apply some ice. You've made it maybe 30 or so minutes away as the twilight is coming over the land and starting to fade away at this point. You would be coming across this scene as you are running. And I'm going to bring you guys to a map, and we're going to roll some initiative. So if everyone will roll the initiative.
Why is this popping up as Eric still for me?
In the chat,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Change your display name on the
Yeah.
settings tab.
Yeah, because his display name is
Gotcha. Yeah.
is still Eric. Yeah.
I'm sure I can refresh and fix the avatar.
Alara, what's your dex?
I'm pretty sure it's a +2.
Is it 14 or 15?
15.
Okay. Draxius, what's your dex?
12.
And then, what is Gog's dex?
Funny, I rolled a 19 and got an 18.
Fair enough. So actually, both Alara and Draxius are up first. Alara, you are up first as this giant swings around and yells no magic towards the owl, who was actually behind Mo there.
We know where Severage is, real quick.
I'd
Can
say
you see me?
If you
I
probably
can only see a small circle around me, it looks like. Oh, it's low light. Okay,
it
never
is
mind. I
low
can
light,
see.
so you
I
can
see
kind
right.
of see.
Yeah.
I would say Severage is doing good about being hidden.
Okay.
Actually, if you want Severage, go and give me a stealth check.
I'm not actively stealthing. I'm running as fast as I possibly can.
Fair enough. Then yes, you would see him.
Kind of bumping from tree to tree because
Yeah.
I also can't see anything.
You can see it's that twilight that's starting to end, but it is very, very low. I'll turn up the lighting a little bit on here. We'll do that.
I have a question just for the DM.
Yes, I have an answer just for you.
Okay, so for my spells, I know that as a ranger at second level, I have I can know 2 spells at a time.
You can know 3 spells.
Yeah, I can know 3 spells, but I can. Is it a thing of you can only like cast 2? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you only have
no.
2
Nope.
spell slots. So even though you have all that whole list of spells from your first level, you can only cast 2 of them per day.
Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while since I've played any sort of spellcaster.
You're absolutely good.
And it's all brand new too. So.
And she's all and with like you're. Feel free to ask me any questions anytime about any of that stuff. I am a-okay with it.
Okay, so I guess we're doing this then. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use my bonus action first to cast Hunter's Mark.
All right. Does that look like anything as you cast it, or is it just like it's just focused in your head?
I feel like if anything, it may just be like a little zap of light
Like a little laser
going
pointer almost?
towards yeah.
Okay.
So I cast Hunter's Mark on her, and then first I'm going to take a shot
All
with
right.
my longbow. Let's see.
And go ahead and check off the hunter's mark checkbox underneath your
Yeah,
attacks. Yeah.
done that.
And go ahead and roll damage. And to do that, just click it in the chat window where it says longbow. And it'll automatically apply the hunter's mark damage. For 11 points of damage, as you kind of shoot her in the upper torso a little bit as she gets knocked back a little bit, slowing her movement speed down. Dealing 11 points. Anything else for Lara? Any movement?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna move back to get maybe a little bit of cover
All right.
just to here.
Yeah, ducking behind a tree. I got you.
Yeah. And that will be the end of my turn.
All right, that'll take us to Draxius. Kind of behind that broken tree.
So Draxius is ready to sort of see what the others will do, how we'll all fight together, and he's focused until he sees Severage briefly, just a glance at one of his party members, but bloodied and beaten and running.
He looks fucked up.
Yeah, and that immediately okay, this giant is clearly somehow involved in this, so he's not so reserved, and he will leap off of the platform he's on to charge, but in midair will teleport right onto the other side of the giant, whatever side they're not facing. Behind them.
The chill touch happened behind them, but they swirled around facing the wizard, so they would be would be facing Phineas at the moment.
Oh, if they're facing Phineas, then perfect. He'll be right where his whispered message from the thaumaturgy was.
All right.
So he whispered it and then is now just there. So I'll use his movement to get as close as I need to then use the teleportation.
I gotcha.
From the cloud giant thingy.
There's a little puff of cloud emerges.
Yeah. And then I'm going to attack with the Warhammer. So I'm trying. I'm a little rusty on the new paladin stuff.
Oh, you're good.
Do I need to declare?
Nope.
Smite prior. Okay,
that's
so
the good thing about the new smites is you don't have to declare.
Yeah.
The bad side is you can't stack them, but you can just be like, I'm gonna divine smite. I'm gonna wrathful smite, or pick and choose.
Okay.
Getting a 21 as you do push them 10 feet away. Or do you you don't have to if you don't want to, I don't think.
No. I won't push them, but I do have Savage Attacker, so I'll take the higher of the two damage, right?
All right. If you roll... Oh no, Savage Attacker does let you roll. Just reroll. For 12 points of bludgeoning.
And then I'm going to use the Searing Smite.
All right.
Well, let me look at this real quick.
So it's an extra better, yeah.
Yeah, 1d6 of fire damage and ignites with a magical fire.
Fair enough. As the fire just kind of ignites around this giant's leg, I imagine you kind of smash into her leg as she takes 6 points of fire damage. Anything?
And actually, now that I think of it, I will do the push.
You want to push her this way?
Yeah, towards the others.
Okay.
But finish my movement as getting as close to them as I could.
Okay. So kind of following
hitting
up
and then
on
continuing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Kind of swinging, pushed almost into Mo. This giant quickly turns around, like getting an arrow in like the shoulder, and then kind of like to the back of her calf, a warhammer kind of pushing her forward. She swings around with her spear towards Draxius, getting a 12 to hit.
That does not hit.
She gets 2 attacks. Going in for another attack. Getting a natural 20 to hit.
Oh, bummer.
Big
We'll be
bummer,
joining Eric's.
big bummer indeed. As Draxius, the first swing kind of glances off your armor, and then she goes in for a big stab as she jabs you right into your stomach as you take 25 points of piercing damage.
Oof, I only have 20.
It doesn't kill you outright. As Draxius goes down, pulls her spear out. I said no magic! And turns back towards, looking over Mo towards Phineas. I see you! That will take us to Phineas's turn.
I will kind of fluff my coat open a little bit and wings pop out. I'm going to go up in the air out of the giant's reach.
Risking the attack of opportunity?
Oh, it's in range right now?
Well, you don't know.
Well, I'm gonna try and get. I'm gonna try to get out of the range. I hope it's not in range. Yeah, I guess if there's if there's a risk, I guess.
All right. There is not. I just wanted to make you think so. As she does kind of stab out towards you as you kind of fly away, she doesn't. You're out of range. She's not quite that long armed.
And then I'll use my 1 per day healing word.
And you can use spell slots with it too.
Yep, I'll use my 1 per day though. Draxius.
What is the word that you call out?
Hey, go ahead and get up. It shouldn't have happened like that. And max. 8 plus 2, right?
Yeah.
No, plus 3.
2d4
11.
plus your whatever modifier. Probably intelligence, if I had to guess.
11. Yes, intelligence.
As Draxius, you get 11 hit points.
Awesome. Also, I forgot to mention at the start of the giant's turn, it has to make a Constitution save for the fire.
Thank you.
I forgot about that.
I knew that too, and that's why I was like, it got better because even if it makes it save, it continues to burn. She got a 15, so she doesn't take damage this turn. I don't think. Your DC is 12. But she is still kind of mildly on fire. She kind of pats at it a little bit, but doesn't take any real damage this turn.
Then the spectral hand's going to try and grab out again.
All right.
Getting 18 to hit.
18 will definitely hit her.
For 6 points of necrotic.
All right. As this hand just kind of grasps and kind of lingers towards its already wounded. You said 6?
Yep.
All right.
That'll be my turn.
That'll take us to Severage, kind of running through the snow. You see a fight breaking out with another Verbeeg. Probably the one that Doug was talking about, having a hot date.
Don't necessarily want anything to do with that.
But you do see Draxius, as you see him get stabbed in the gut. But then some other people that you don't know.
I've known him for a day and a half.
That's true.
And still probably kind of blame him for everything that happened. Go. This is a raised area over here.
It is. That's about probably like 15 feet up.
Quite a ways up.
It's just a frozen stream across the way.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can use my action to dash. Can I use this tree to kind of help me climb up that?
Sure. Yeah, give me a athletics check if you're trying to climb up it. Kind of using it like Jackie Chan style, like, or, Ninja Warrior. With what is that, the wall thing where they go up the wall? Hand on both sides.
Warped wall.
No, not the warp wall, the other thing. With an
Oh, that's just a
18,
fire button.
DC was set pretty high because it is icy as you're climbing up there. You almost make it to the top. Or if you had movement, I would say you can get to the top.
Yeah, I still had 15 feet of movement.
All right. As you get up top.
And then I'll just use my, let's see, that was action dash, or that was movement, bonus action, and then I'm just going to take another step and lean against this tree because
All right.
I don't feel so good.
Fair enough. Getting some cover. That'll take us to Mo. And this giant turns towards you and like looking up at the bird in the sky above you. How is he? 30 feet up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of range.
You will have to get through me to get through the magic, friend.
As he will just take his axe and just take a huge lateral swing at her leg.
All right.
Woo!
Ooh.
Wow.
Natural
Double crit.
20.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that hits. For,
23
and
on
we
that.
are doing crunchy. Is that max? For one of them. Oh no.
Both max. Or no, that's a 10
No,
and a
that's a
12.
10.
Sorry.
So just change that 10 to
So just be 2 more points a day, so 25 points.
jeez. What is the great axe mastery?
It's cleave.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So 25 points of damage as you
And then-
cleave into her, the meat of her thigh. She lets out a big yelp / roar.
And he will action surge and do it again.
All right.
Ooh. not good
Quickly
this time.
going around for another swing. And kind of this time she kind of like, as she yells, she kind of grabs her leg and starts hopping up on that leg as you whiff past her foot as she lifts it up just in time. Happenstance.
Ah, damn it. You there. You do not look good.
As he's on the ground, like,
Wait, DM,
yeah.
would that attack have been counted as flanking because both Draxius
it
and
would have been.
Mo...
So it would have been an 11 instead. Which would still be a miss. I appreciate you calling it out though.
There's a potion in my pouch if you need it.
As he's just kind of Draxius, you're just coming to, and you see this half work you've never seen before. Just walk over towards you and say that.
That'll be my turn.
Yeah, I think respecting the turn order, Draxius won't be doing anything, but definitely has this like slight, like it's a combination of like skepticism and rivalry, but also like camaraderie.
Yeah, I gotcha. All at once. A lot of emotions going through this giantkin's brain. Fair enough. Now I'll take us back to the top of the round with Alara.
Okay. Let's see. Is there anything I can do? No, because there are people within 5 feet. So I'm just gonna do another longbow attack.
All right, fair enough. 15 does hit.
Okay.
As you line up the shot for 9 points of damage, kind of going into her gut this time, as she's kind of hopping on a foot, kind of gets knocked back slightly as she kind of uses her spear to kind of keep herself up. She is not having a good time.
Okay.
Anything else for Alara?
Mm,
You can stay put if you want. You got some cover behind the tree there.
yeah, I think I will stay put.
All right. I'll take us.
Yeah, I'll stay put.
I'll take us to Draxius, who is on the ground. You hear this orc say that, and kind of being brought back by a bird talking to you. It's weird.
I think Draxius looks at the potion, places his shield hand, so his arm is looped through the shield loop, and then it opens his hand and places it on his own wound area, and it glows brightly as Lay on Hands is cast, which I think is a bonus action now.
It might be.
Yeah,
I think you're
I believe
correct.
it's a bonus action for self and an action for others.
I thought I only read bonus action, but I can reread that.
As
Since
a
I'm
bonus
counting,
action, you can touch a creature, which could be yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was, but
Mhm.
the PDFs are tricky to navigate.
I wish they would just compile them and get rid of
I
like,
know, right?
yeah.
I
They're working on
wholeheartedly
it.
agree.
They're working on it.
They're working on it.
Release.
It's going to be called the Player's Handbook.
Yep.
2024.
I was by their booth at Nuremberg, and I should have asked them what the ETA on that was. Damn it, Hasbro. All right, so Draxius looks at you, kind of looks at the potion in the pouch, and says, "Save it," and then glows, and then charges back into battle,
All right.
and swings his warhammer again. 15.
15 hits it.
All right, and am I able to move before I hit it? Can I use my move action to move past?
You got 15 feet of movement if you want to move after you stand up.
Okay, so my thought is to move to the point where I can push it away from our two the bird and the drow.
So yeah, you could like over here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm way out of the way. Yeah.
So I glow, move past you, and like kind of in a sort of choreographed,
Like a roll almost.
exciting way,
Yeah.
and do the warhammer attack and push, and then damage.
Slam it in for
blood.
13 points of damage.
And I am not going to smite.
Well, you can't because it's a bonus action now.
Oh yeah.
It uses your bonus action. But as you push her into the wall, she nearly collapses, almost dropping her spear, being beaten, a couple of arrows sticking in her. She's looking rough.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'll yell, "Surrender, giant!"
Give me a... Not quite intimidation, it's not quite persuasion. Just give me a charisma check. Unless you're proficient in one of those. You can give me a... There you go. With a 15.
I'm proficient in...
And I'll do guidance as a
No need.
reaction. Okay.
Because it's only on failures. That's the same thing with resistance is the same way. And also you're not within range for either.
Oh, I'm not?
Range is 10 feet for both of them. But Draxius, as you say, surrender. Anything else for your turn?
No.
That'll take us to Gog. As she kind of defensively holding her spear, drops the spear, clutches the... She's still holding the basket the entire time. Clutches the basket. I just wanted a nice date. Why? I thought you were coming for dinner. And she drops her spear. Is anyone gonna keep attacking her?
I'll prepare.
What's my?
You got
Yeah,
her.
probably.
Okay. So
Un-
Phineas readies some magic to be cast. Another hand, I'm assuming. As Severage, you take a shot.
I'm gonna stumble to these rocks and line up a shot.
All right. As she's kind of like clutching this basket of goods, unsure what's in it. Shiny bits.
Do I have any kind of additional modifiers?
You could take
Based on
this. You could take a
situation.
stealth as a bonus action, if you want.
So great. I just didn't know
Uh,
because I haven't actually been active in any of this.
that's fair. You know what? I'll give you advantage on the stealth because of that. Her attention has definitely been elsewhere. Yeah, so you do have advantage on the shot and sneak attack. Getting a 12 is going to be a miss. As
You know what? I've got it, so I'm gonna use it. Say goodbye to that inspiration.
There you go.
Huzzah!
The day is
Rolled an 11.
almost over.
Ooh.
Getting one less. As you kind of try and line up the shot, still stumbling a little bit.
Okay, I can roll high. It
You
is
can
possible.
you can do it. You're rolling like crazy good the session before. But lining up the shot, the crossbow bolt kind of skids across like right next to her head.
I'll see Severage recognize that he was from the other party. My hand will go off.
All right.
For a 18.
18 will hit.
7 points necrotic.
That's more than 2, which is what she had. Oh, you know what? She might have actually burned there anyways.
Surrender.
Nah, she rolled a nat 20. But her body is still burning from this holy fire that Draxius made as a crossbow shot goes off from atop the cliff and a hand just kind of clutches the back of her neck as she drops down to her knees, stumbling, spilling this basket of what looks to be ice shards as well as shards of this glimmering metal. As she drops to her knees, I wanted dinner, and falls face first into the snow.
We do not accept your surrender.
And apparently not. That'll be where we take our little 5-10 minute break as Gog is defeated. Gag? There's an H.
Doesn't
Man,
matter now.
It doesn't matter.
I was hoping Letters was going to get some sort of revenge.
Well, this isn't the one that killed everyone.
True.
That was Doug.
Letters doesn't know that. He can't see very much.
That's true. As the twilight of the midnight hour is starting to fade away, a giant dead here with a spilled basket of stuff. Yeah, we'll take our little 5-10 minute break there and pick up at about 5. Last we left, you guys had stumbled upon each other essentially at the same space of this Verbeeg giant collecting some fish. Conversation happened, but ended up, of course, breaking out into a fight after some magic was cast and was taken the wrong way. You guys kind of knew that she was planning to eat you for dinner anyways, so kind of ready for it. Sprang an assault and beat the shit out of her. Arrows, axes, hammers, and magical hands, as well as the stray crossbow bolt from the Severage as he stumbled on the scene as well. Now with this Verbeeg's body beaten, bloodied, and still kind of like lightly burning with this magical fire that won't last necessarily, but Will is still burning. Spilled her basket of goods. What are you guys doing?
Leaning on a rock.
Well, I'm going to go collect my arrows.
All right. Go ahead and roll me percentile.
A percentile.
D100,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
She did fall over just to see if they were broken. I'd say no. Both your arrows are fine. You can collect them.
Okay.
And she didn't fall right on them. Or the one that did kind of like got pushed through to the other side, so you can kind of pull one out.
I'll fly over to Severidge.
Draxius is going over in that direction too. He's worried about his friend and where Eric is.
Hey, you look pretty messed up. Feeling okay? You're from the other group, aren't you?
I am the other group.
So things didn't turn out too good, huh?
As expected.
Well, hope you feel a little bit better. I'll
Why
cast
did they steal
a
mine?
healing word level 1.
All
I
right.
only have level 1.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, you're only level 2. You only get level 1 spells.
7 points of healing.
Okay. Severage, you get 7 points of healing.
Oh, we found another guy down over here. Want to regroup with us?
Depends. Which way are you going?
I think we gotta talk about it. We found this giant. We're looking for other giants or where they're from. They stole some mead. I mean, you know that.
Don't know how much it's worth.
Well, I take it that there's well, you can brief everybody down there. I'll wave over. Start hopping through the snow down.
There's no tracks for you to hop in. So you gotta make your own.
I'll just kind of flutter.
As you guys
Hop
kind
up.
of regroup together, as Alara is gathering her couple of arrows, and Draxius was about to head up there as well. What do you guys do? You guys see this beaten and now looking much better human individual. If Severage, you want to describe your character for TJ's benefit?
Well, he's a young human individual. He's got elven features, but for the most part presents as human. And he's got furs and all bundled up because it's cold out here. Nice necklace. Nothing. If you've been around, you know he travels from town to town. He doesn't stay in one place for very long.
Yeah, I would say Mo would recognize him. Being a townie.
Usually just runs small packages from one place to another, delivering news and
letters.
Little things. And letters.
Letters? I didn't know you were with the group. Went out?
Somebody had to show him where to go.
And the rest of the group?
Weren't so lucky.
Did you all wake up in the wild like this?
No, we woke up in the tavern where we went to sleep.
And then you came out here?
And then we followed the logger to the site where the ogres killed the other troop.
Eric?
We followed the trail of the other giant to a cave. And it went worse than this one.
I see.
Yeah, this one went pretty smooth.
I think Draxius here would disagree. Badoop.
Yes, well, we should probably patch each other up before we move on, at the very least, but this Eric, he was also slain in this cave.
He went back for the others.
He still lives.
Go back. I didn't go back in. I don't know, but probably not.
And there may not be time. We must go.
What? What are we going to accomplish?
Retrieve Eric and any who he saved.
I don't think
And
he saved
prevent the
anyone.
murders of further citizens of Goodmead.
There will always be monsters.
Not if I have to say about
12
it.
people have already died for this mead. How many more?
Who's to say
Don't
it's
know anything
Mead?
about Mead.
That's what this job is about. Getting their mead back.
Well,
And
that does
what's-
sound like something that would be important to Eric.
But what about the citizens of Goodmead? If these giants want something else, they'll just take it from them.
Yes.
But not if we have something to say about that.
This time.
I don't follow.
There are goblins to the east. There are wolves to the west. There's a monster in the lake to the north.
And a Yeti.
There will always be more.
And if everyone had that mentality, we would be overrun with monsters.
You know, if everyone had that mentality, there wouldn't be towns.
Precisely. And that is why we must take care of these situations.
I think the situation has resolved itself.
There are more giants. I've heard this one say there's at least 2 others.
Yeah. There's one in a cave to the north.
To the north, you say?
I don't remember if it was the north, but we're going to go with that.
Yeah, sounds good.
We will follow your tracks. If there's even a chance that Eric is alive.
You've probably
go.
already seen the markings on the trees. Take you right to it.
So you will not follow?
I've almost died 3 times in 3 days. I'm running out of luck.
Well, as luck would have it, you ran into us. And he'll come over and he'll just take the potion out of his pouch and palm it into his hands. If you do not wish to fight, I do not ask that of you. But there are possible people for us to save, as well as prevent the murders of future lives.
I don't disagree with your sentiment. I've just lost enough people have died already.
Yeah, and this time is different. I can feel it in the weave. Weave works in mysterious ways. That's why you're with us. We're with you.
I can get you to the cave, but I won't promise anything else.
You do not have to fight if you do not wish to. And you can take the potion of healing from my inventory. Add it to yours.
I can't. It's too heavy.
You can
None of you
carry
drink it.
stuff. You can carry like 50 more pounds.
Oh, did you change the math?
Mm-hmm. You could have carried
Like
60
it-
pounds previously.
It was 5 times half, I thought.
No, just 5 times your strength.
Ah,
So you could have carried 60.
I thought it was 5 times half.
But so now it's 7.5 times your strength. Or 0.75 times your... You know what I mean.
Well, it seems that we have a dinner to make. I would hate to be late.
Draxius checks the basket that the orc was carrying.
I was about to do that too.
Fair enough.
we have that Goonies moment where
Yeah.
the camera's in the
Yeah.
basket and we're all looking at it.
That is probably since Alara was first, like, in that area, she's probably eyeing it. But as the rest of you look on the basket, you do see shards of broken ice that contain bits of fish. Some of them ripped in half, others full, like minnows, and like it's not big enough to have like trout or anything like that. It would be smaller fish. However, do her basket of bits. Look like shiny pieces of metal that are broken. Some of them would have like char marks on them. Be an Arcana check.
Can I check that?
You can give me an Arcana check as you look them over.
12.
Looks like some weird metal. Probably worth some value at the very least, but a good heft to it. Like it's a basket for her to carry. It doesn't fill the basket though. Like half the basket was full of the metal, the other half was full of like the ice shards that she was collecting to help season the dinner. But I'd say it's like 20 pounds of shards of metal. Not, you can't quite identify this metal, but it's odd.
This metal might be worth something. If I spent a little bit of time with it, I might be able to figure out what. Somebody want to hold on to this for me? I got weak bones. They're hollow, actually.
Very well.
What's the carrying math on the Goliath again? It used to be different than it is now.
You go 1.5.
So you
Because
have
it's
1.5 times 7.5 times your. You can
Boy.
probably carry like 30 more pounds.
Watch your strength score. Yeah. Watch your strength score.
So 16 times
16 becomes 24. 24 times 5
5.
is
So I can carry up
about
to
120 pounds.
180. I got 40 more pounds I can carry.
As the orc also has the heavy, or can carry a lot of stuff.
Powerful build.
Yes.
I don't.
I'll just say, after I see this metal, you notice Alara's eyes widening, and she takes a couple of quick steps backwards before she's able to, and tenses up, and for a little bit before she's able to relax herself again.
Don't worry. You don't have to carry it.
Do you know what this is?
I've seen it before, but I don't know much about its actual properties.
You must know something given your reaction to this.
Yeah, it's associated with a bad memory.
Fair enough. So,
But just be careful with it. Someone else might be looking for it as well.
who, who would be looking for this?
I I and you just see her like slowly, like obviously trying to stop herself, but like starting to almost hyperventilate. Be like, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't say.
There. No one here is going to pressure you into divulging any information that might be too hard for you. But I hope you do not
Thank you.
hold anything against us by taking this metal.
No, no, I understand. It could be helpful.
Okay then. So, we have our spoils of war, we have our destination, and perhaps we can light a fire under letters again. As he puts a giant half-orc hand on Letter's shoulder.
It'll be dark soon.
And as you say that, you do see the aurora start to fade away. And it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh. Shall we say goodnight to these giants once and forever?
I guess there's no point in any delay, right?
I could use a nap.
I think Draxius just begins walking in that direction.
I like this one.
Keep an eye on him. He might disappear again.
Do you mean disappear?
There were supposed to be 5 of us this morning. Right? 1, 2. Gotta do some actual math.
Yeah.
5.
Well, I'll keep my eye on this one as well then. And he'll start picking up the pace to match with Draxius.
Okay.
Popping footprints behind Mo.
Fair enough. As the path that Severage led was pretty easy to follow, as it was so recent, and he was running with such haste, not really worrying about stealthiness, more about speed. But as darkness starts to seep in and the light fades away, you guys do arrive at the site of and kind of the telltale sign would be 2 large mammoth tusks at the outside, where you can see a little bit of light coming from inside the cave. And Severage, you would know that there are other entrances that you saw last time.
The one that we went in.
Mm-hmm.
We went in through there. It opens up into a large area where he was doing some cooking.
Very good.
Will we
Well,
lure
we
them
go.
out?
Unlikely. Not without something they want.
Were they not expecting someone?
We are not them.
We know that they are hostile in there, so we can give no quarter. Do we storm in?
I just heard it, so he's not alone in there.
I don't hear any fighting.
We could be too late.
Well, if they are dressing their wounds, then we will catch them off guard. Or we will find Eric standing on their corpses.
So, we go storming. So he unhooks his axe again.
All right. Is that what you guys are doing? Charging in?
Yeah, Phineas in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, nope. I mean, he's kind of vibing with Draxius right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Draxius sees the giant axe, and he hangs the warhammer on his side and puts the shield on his back, and then pulls the giant two-handed maul from his back, and then he's ready.
Fair enough.
Yeah, same.
Two big guys with big old weapons. What about Alara? Yeah.
I'm definitely going to stay near Phineas. Definitely not charging straight in, but prepared to offer my support when a, a fight inevitably breaks out. Um,
All right. So pretty much
yeah.
Draxius and Mo are leading the charge. Are they actually just running in, or are they just like ready, just stalwartly like walking in, or are they like I don't
Wouldn't
know,
run. It's on the ice.
battle crying, or you tell me.
Ooh.
Just all
Oh,
ice
no.
for like 30 yards. I wouldn't run.
Wait, what'd you say?
He was just
All
warning you
ice.
against the
Ice.
ice.
It's all ice.
You guys all have
Maybe one of
snowshoes
those-
on right now, but
I got
You
the
know.
clamp-ons.
Yeah.
Or the crampons.
if you wanna change from your snowshoes to the crampons, it's
Yeah.
not overly icy in there. It's a little bit of snow lingers into the inside of the cave.
I mean, yeah, Mokatir would probably just run in, axe raised.
Is the light still coming from the inside of the
Light is still
cave
coming
there?
from inside of the cave, from the campfire within.
We didn't short rest, right? We were just patching each other up with like spells and stuff.
That's all you did.
Okay.
You guys were there for like at the scene of Gog's murder, not murder, death. You guys didn't murder her. I mean, kind of. She did give up. But
Coming right at us.
yeah.
Self-defense.
Self-defense, I swear. But yeah, you guys were only there for like 5 or 10 minutes while you chatted and patched up a
Okay.
little bit. But yeah, Draxius and Mo charging in.
Draxius is holding a small object that he is going to throw as soon as we get close to any type of fight.
What's the small object?
Just a small stone.
Oh, I gotcha. Fair enough. As you guys start to enter into this cave, Severage at the very rear, you would note a smell coming from the right cave where there's no light and kind of a pit going down. Probably like a refuse pit or something. But to your left, you would see a firelight. And furthermore, you would see a kennel of sheep and goats making noises sheep and goats make. Buzz and I don't know what you call, not brays because that's what a horse does.
Bleat.
Bleat,
Bleat.
yes,
Yes.
bleating. But as you run in, Mo and Draxius, you would see a pretty beaten and wounded half giant kind of grasping a very large barrel that is even too big for him to like. It's not like a cup for him. It's still a barrel, a large cask, kind of right next to him, as he is. You guys weren't moving stealthily, so he would see that and be like, "Hey!" Kind of reaching for a spear, seemingly a little drunk. And I'm going to bring you guys to yet another map. And we're going to roll initiative. Because he's going to see you guys at the exact same time. As you guys kind of round the corner. I don't know where you want to, that's where you two would see him. And Phineas and Alara, you guys would just be able to see the sheep and the goats in this moment. But
Yeah.
everyone else, or not everyone else, Mo and Draxius would see this Verbeeg still sitting as you enter into the cavern, seemingly a little bit drunk.
Before, would I be able to sort of do the
100%.
stone? Okay, so I just reread it. It's not a throwing type things, but I do
You have it to
turn
activate.
the
Yeah.
Like as soon as I turn the corner, if we're within 30 feet, can I
Yeah.
have it appear above him?
Absolutely.
Or does it have to be on? Okay,
Yeah,
So as we turn,
it could fall on him. I don't see.
Yeah, as we turn the corner, I just say to Mo, "Don't be alarmed. He's on our side." And then a spirit of an orc warrior appears above the Verbeeg and falls in an attacking manner above its head.
Fair enough. As do you want to roll for him?
No, whatever's easiest for you. However, it's easier.
Yeah, that's
to
fine.
manage. I don't have stance for him.
You would kind of hear this almost ghostly echo of a battle cry start to get louder and louder as this spectral orc warrior slams down onto this Verbeeg. Wielding a spear. Actually, he's gonna let out a. Is the battle cry in action? No, wielding a large great axe. Missing with his first attack. Slamming down on the ground next to him, and then kind of going through the ground, so not actually slamming into it like a spectral illusion would, kind of, but then slamming into the side of this Verbeeg as he takes some damage there. And kind of getting off of the Verbeeg. That'll take us to Alara. You wouldn't see any of that happen, but hear kind of a grunt come from within.
Okay. So I'm just gonna move here. Yep, I'll be able to see the big from there. Okay. So another question, because again, first time playing spellcast
Yeah, you're good.
spells for a little bit. Am I able to cast Hail of Thorns as a bonus action and then do an attack? or
Is Hail of Thorns a bonus action?
yes, one bonus action.
I think it just imbues your range. Yes, the next time you hit yes, that's how
It
that works.
does.
Yes, yes. So you can bonus action cast it as you imbue your arrow to rain hell upon him.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that, and then look, the way I want this arrow to hit, I want to see if I can get it to hit on the northernmost bit of,
I got you.
yeah, so that I can try and get the other one in that radius as well.
As that's where you would see the spectral, there's some spectral thing up north that you can just barely see in your eye.
Yeah.
So yeah, go and roll me to hit. It will be a disadvantage because he is currently prone.
Oh, okay.
And you and range attack.
Okay.
Getting an 8 is going to be a miss,
Damn.
unfortunately, as you kind of release your arrow and it just goes a little bit wide.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else for Alara?
Um, I'm just gonna move back to there.
All right. I'll take us to
Semi-cover.
taking us to Mo. Seeing this spectral orc warrior just appear above this Verbeeg and slam down next to him and then kind of slice into him with a giant axe. Similar to your axe.
He'll kind of mimic the war cry, charge in and slash.
All right. You will have advantage, but a 13 still is going to be a miss.
Wah, 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 wah. And that
Off to
will
a
be
great start.
Mm-hmm.
my turn for right now.
All right. At which point, the orc war chief, or not orc war chief, the orc warrior lets out a booming, even louder cry, kind of building up on your cry. Everyone will get advantage on their next attack roll. As he slashes into it with a axe as well. Hitting it for 14 damage. Actually, he should have done the war cry first. I didn't realize he got a bonus attack after that. Either way, he still slashes into the creature, dealing a hefty amount of damage. And that will take us to Doug. Doug kind of writes himself, a lot of dinner, and kind of like still stumbling a little bit, half drunk. Confused at the moment. That was just to see who he was attacking. He will attack this orc, celestial orc, with his spear. As the celestial orc takes a good amount of damage, but it does seem to actually affect this orcish creature, as he just kind of the orc lets out a war cry as he's getting hit, and you can see what looks like blood kind of appear at the end of this Verbeeg spear tip. Taking us to Severage, as now he is stood up.
Gonna get. I can't. I really want to go in there. I can't get an angle, so I'm just kind of back here covering. Just ready to cover the exit whenever it's time to run.
All right, readying a shot in your crossbow.
Yep.
That'll take us to Phineas.
How high are the ceilings?
I'd say about 15 feet.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll fly over, land over here.
Okay.
Uh,
Flying over these
and
sheep as they're bleeding.
yep. And I will bring out a little chill touch over here. I get advantage on that, right?
You will have advantage on it. Everyone has advantage on their next shot until the end of the turn.
Dirty 20.
Feeling empowered. That hits him.
4 points in necrotic damage.
He will take 4 points of necrotic damage.
And that'll be my turn.
As you hear, friends here, and a large ogre makes himself known, running up to the spectral orc. I'm friend, and just readying his large club. Taking us to Draxius. That's all friend could
So
do.
Draxius also charges and also yells, joining in the war cry yelling. But he will swing his maul.
All right. Joining side by side with Mo.
Yeah. And I think I get the topply type
Yeah, with
situation.
the maul. Yeah. 17 will hit. He's got to make a con save.
So I'll take the 10
As he takes 10
of my
points of
savage
bludgeoning.
attacker.
As he is
And I will
looking rough.
use. Oh, if he's looking rough, then I won't use my.
He was looking rough to begin with, though. He's drunk also. But he is going to make a con save to see if you knock him over. He got a 12. What is your DC?
I'm looking at that.
It'll be 10 plus
8,
your strength modifier.
So 13.
All right, as he is knocked prone once again. As he just stood up and you just kind of sweep him out from under the feet, knocking his legs together.
If they're prone, can you move through their space, or is that not a thing?
I would say, sure, why not? Give me an athletics check, though.
All right.
Just for funsies.
I want to be
There's
on.
going to be a roll. Yes, I would say with a 14, with him being drunk and knocked down. Yeah.
So I'll be on the other side
yeah.
of the spectral orc.
Okay.
So between the spectral orc and on the other side of it. So not like directly in front of.
Gotcha.
Yeah, perfect. Flanking the Verbeeg
With,
and
yeah.
backing up the orc.
Fair enough. That'll take us to Alara.
Wanted to get out of Alara's way.
I gotcha. Letting her get a good shot off.
Oh shoot! But I made it prone again. Sorry.
So
It's
it'll
okay.
It'll just be a straight
Wait,
roll.
which one have you made? Which one's prone?
Well, if you walk in, you'll see, yeah, the guy whose name is Sideways, and you would see an ogre in there as well, ready to like big club, ready to smash. Saying, "I'm friend."
What about the guy in the middle?
He is knocked on his ass. He looks very similar to
No,
the.
one between the two.
Oh, that is the spectral orc that looks to be.
Oh, that's right.
Wielding a great axe, kind of letting out the war cry that you're hearing, just booming throughout the cavern in here.
Well, in that case, I'm just going to go, if I can, I do have line of sight on it, for the ogre.
Yeah.
Because then I'll actually have advantage, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't taken any damage
That
yet.
is true. The ogre does look wounded, but he's not.
He's not wounded like the
He's not
other
wounded
fella.
from you guys. Yeah, he's not wounded like the big Verbeeg.
So attack with advantage.
It will be an advantage, yeah.
Okay. Come on, please.
Getting a 24 to hit will absolutely hit.
Okay, I'm so gonna do longbow, and I'll add on Hail of Thorns as well.
Absolutely. No hunter.
So it's a
So it'll do
no hunter's mark yet.
Yeah, it'll do 7 damage to him,
Oh,
and
damn it.
then
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot to turn that off.
the orc will, and including him, and then roll me a hail of thorns, which is I think just a
And
D10 for you.
yeah, and it's a DC 13 Dex save, I think.
Gotcha. The ogre got a 12. The orc actually passed. Is it half if they make their save? Yes.
It's halved, yeah.
So the orc will take 4. The spectral orc warrior and friend will take 8 points of damage. What does your arrow like break apart mid-air, or does it like shoot and hit and splinter?
I've always gone with the as it nears its target about like literally like 5 feet within the target's range, it just shatters apart.
All right. As hitting everything around this ogre, just kind of like tries its best to like block himself, but ends up just kind of like making the shards kind of hit him more. And anything else for Alara? As that ogre is also looking for
I am going to cast Hunter's Mark on the ogre.
All right. Yes. I was like, do you have spell slots? No, you get a bunch of Hunter's Marks for free. Because New Ranger is awesome. Fair enough.
Yes, it's nice that they've finally
Mm-hmm.
given it some perks. So I've lost 2 arrows so far. Okay.
And
I'm just gonna move behind here.
all right. Jumping over into the animal pit there. That'll take us to Mokatir.
All right. I am going to do a little roll over the box here to position myself right here. So I can do an effective cleave here on both these guys.
Oh, I see.
Nice.
So I'll use my war cry advantage on the ogre.
I see. Okay.
Ooh. Man, I am rolling like crap.
A 10 just miss. Actually, yeah, 10 just misses.
And then I guess this is the cleave on the downed
Verbi,
guy.
on Doug.
It's just a 1d8, right?
And it just does 1d8. Or no, it does whatever your it just does your strength modifier.
Oh.
I believe. Or is cleave does the damage die without your strength?
I think it's I thought it was 1d8 with minus the strength, but it could be the other one.
You might be right. I don't know. I haven't looked at cleave too heartily.
I think I saw it in playtest 7. 1 second.
Cleave. You hit a creature with a melee attack using this weapon, blah, blah, blah. You make an attack roll with the weapon against a second creature within 5 feet. On a hit, the second creature takes the weapon's damage, but don't add your ability modifier unless the modifier is negative.
Yeah, so it's a 1d12.
All right. He gets 10 damage.
As you kind of swing your axe around, missing the ogre as he's kind of trying his best to defend himself from these shards of arrow, and goes around and slam into the Verbeeg, going right into his chest.
Oh, did he miss with the first attack?
Oh, he has to hit?
Cleave, you have to hit with if you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can make an attack roll against a second creature.
All right, so then never mind then. I thought it was a separate attack.
It is, but it requires you to hit first.
Interesting.
All right.
Well, now we know. We're learning.
That'll be my turn.
All right. That'll take us to the orc, who is going to swing its big great axe. Once at the Verbeeg and once at Friend, just kind of attempting to do a similar kind of spinny move that Mo is trying to do. Essentially, this is who you want to be when you grow up, Mo.
Ghost?
as he's just whirling around, kind of in tandem with you, hitting both of them. Uh, shearing off, or he'll hit the ogre first, kind of cutting him through his stomach, and then on that whirl around, just bring his axe down into the chest of Doug as you very unceremoniously, Doug just like coughs up some blood and a sigh of defeat from this large giant. And that'll take us to Doug, who's dead. And then Severage.
Really just covering the exit. I don't really want to get involved.
Fair enough. Yeah, hearing sounds of stuff happening, but unsure what's actually befalling your.
I definitely have to commit to the room to be able to see anything.
For sure. And knowing how small that room is and how bad it went last time. Understandable. Covering the rear, readying your crossbow again. That'll take us to Phineas.
I can just make this guy out. So I will do a little chill touch over there.
All right. He will have a severe bonus to his AC.
Oh, I rolled really bad. That's a total of 8.
That is going to be a miss as your hand just kind of grabs the wall above Mo's head.
And I should have flown over here first, but I'll go over here. No, in my turn.
All right. That'll take us to Friend. This large ogre. Kind of just doing its best to defend itself, just smashing wildly with its big old club. Ends up actually, what did I get, 14? Is gonna hit Mo, getting a 15 to hit.
Misses.
As you just it kind of hits your armor and just kind of slides against you. I'm Friend, stay still. Taking us to Draxius.
So is the specter of the orc solid, or is it
you
totally...
you can't share space with it.
That'd be awesome.
It's like you are the ghost.
Could I leap off the dead Verbeeg over the head of the other two and attack? Or is that a little bit too
I'd say it's
unrealistic?
no, it's sure, why not? It will be difficult, and the payout might be amazing. But I will say it'll be a acrobatics check. If you fail it, the ogre's gonna get an attack of opportunity on you. If you succeed, I'll give you advantage on the attack.
Do I have inspiration? I'm just curious.
You do not.
I don't. Okay.
Inspiration goes away at the end of the day as well now.
That's right.
So even if you did, it would have been gone. But unless you're a human, they get it daily. With a 13. Let's check the ogre's stuff. You know what? 13 versus strength. He does get an attack of opportunity as you fly up into the air. Getting a 20 to hit.
That hits.
As you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, it's a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'm
As
still up.
You go and leave. No, I'm Friend. Just kind of smacks you as you land, and you can make an attack, making your attack now, or kind of mid-air, kind of meeting. 24 will hit.
And then I'll take the 11.
All right.
How's he looking? Because I'm thinking I'm actually going to use my Thunderous Smite.
I'll say you. I mean, he looks hurt to start with. He came in this way.
Okay, so I'm going to do that, but it's 2d6 thunder, and he'll be pushed back into that wall that he's behind.
Yeah.
So because I'm hitting him on the way in to go past him.
Kind of like as you get hit, you kind of use your swing to hit him as well for 6 points of thunder damage. As you swing down and just kind of smash his head into that wall there as he falls limp.
And he has to do a strength. Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
I was going to say he has to roll or get prone.
He is very prone as a loud thunderous boom explodes in this cavern. And we will end combat there.
Oh. See? That wasn't so tough.
As you say that, Severed is nowhere in sight. This orc, how long does it last? A minute?
It lasts 10 minutes, but I think as soon as Draxius downs the thing with the thunderous boom, he gives a salute, like a soldierly kind of nod to the war chief, and then it just dissipates.
Fair enough. As it kind of wisps away, you hear a loud war cry as it exits. That is one of the best boons early game. Severage, the sound of battle has ended inside. And you all see this kind of cave in here. Fire, looks like there was some meat grilling, which was next to Doug, where he lay dead. It smells a little sour in this room. There's a couple of, smell of iron, I should say, in the room. You would notice a cart over here with a broken wheel. Has a bit of blood on it. And a half-drunk, actually, no, the kegs are not in here. But it also smells a lot like mead in here.
Are our previous party members still here in this room?
If you look over in the cart, the body of Eric and Jack are in there.
No, Nick Velm?
Not in here.
Well, it looks like this other party was woefully unprepared. And he points over at Jack's sickle.
It's just like a shitty farmer's sickle.
We do not speak ill of the dead.
Just saying they could have been more prepared.
So he climbs up on the cart and
We
starts
don't know how prepared they were.
Obviously not enough. You
Hey,
always have to be
Severidge.
prepared.
Well,
You can come back in.
I mean, if you've taken care of it, we can leave.
We need to get stuff, don't we? It smells like mead in here. I'd say that the mead's somewhere here.
I can't carry a barrel of mead.
Yeah, well, you could maybe help look for one.
There is that broken cart that was also stolen. But yeah, you see
Since
Could I try and get my
since
arrows back?
Draxius is over here, you would see Mokatir probably rifling through Eric's person.
I think so. Draxius sees you doing that, but he as soon as he knows that Eric is dead, that type of action doesn't offend him. He's very used to that sort of thing happening. But he's noticeably sad, and he lowers his head, and he puts Eric's hands on whatever amulet he touched or whatever symbol he touched when he was, casting or showing any type of reverence to his faith.
Yeah, symbol of Morden. It's like anvil, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good dwarf.
I've never met him before. I was sent to meet up with him, though.
By whom?
And, well, that is a story for another time. But him knowing the person that I knew was definitely a good person.
And you see a couple of barrels and a couple of crates in here as well. And it definitely, animals bleeding the whole time.
So, is this the rest of your party letters?
Some of them.
There are more.
There's one more missing, but is there something on the fire?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Looks like there's a hunk of meat next to Doug's body. It was the same meat that was there earlier.
Yeah, it got thrown around a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely covered in dirt and blood and debris.
Well, we can at least bring the bodies back. If we can secure the mead, all the better. Perhaps we can take these livestock back with us as well.
That's a
Me
lot to manage on a
being
2-hour walk in the dark.
me being a wood carver, does this cart look fixable?
Absolutely. It looks fixable.
Okay. Perhaps I can fix the cart for us. We'll have a means of transportation and, well, possibly plenty of animals to pull it.
We explore the cave and make sure there's no more dangers or potential entrances that we need to fortify if we're going to camp here until morning.
There are 2 other entrances that I know of that are visible from the outside.
I guess we could explore the cave. That would be wise. You passed the test.
Axius salutes you.
Fair enough.
Would I be able to see if my arrows are still, the ones that I shot are still intact?
I would say with the one that, with your Hail of Thorns arrow, is gone.
Not intact.
As it exploded
The
with
one that
more
I-
arrows. The other one,
The one that I missed.
roll me a percentile. It is smashed.
No.
It's in that hunk of meat.
Yeah.
So deep.
Arrows break all the time.
Yeah.
You look quite distraught over your arrows.
Well, I made them myself. These took quite a bit of effort, and it took a lot of time to learn how to do it. But no matter. I'll get over it. I'd say we should explore the rest of the cave. Like was suggested. Make sure that there's nothing else in here either, I reckon.
Knowing that these guys are stealing stuff as we're looking through the cave, I'm looking for if they accidentally stole any papers or interesting stuff that I would like.
The giants?
Yeah, like I said, they just take things. So if they accidentally took
yeah,
stuff,
fair enough. In this immediate cave, looking around, One of the casks is full of salt, the other is full of pepper. And the one of the crates is packed full of straw. Don't go wandering around, Draxius.
Sorry.
No, you're good. There's just more to describe once you leave this cave. But one of the crates is full of straw, and the other looks to contain homemade torches. 10 large torches, giant sized, made out of wooden pitch. But that's mostly what's in here. And the broken cart, which does look mendable. Looks like it was dragged, like, someone rides with a flat tire for a while. Looks like the wheel was broken for some time when it was dragged. And it made it here somehow. Might have been picked up. But that is what's in this cave. And actually, probably before we go exploring too far, that'll probably be a good spot to end tonight.